Welcome to Green Bay. I hope you are ready to enjoy the NFL draft. Your friends here at the GBC podcast want to share with you the things we know about our city so you're not just huddled around the stadium district for 4 days. Where else can you go in Green Bay? Including spots on the west side, the east side, and even to the south in Pere. Get ready to learn about the greater Green Bay area. We're going to break this down into districts. The stadium district, where the stadium is, you'll know that really well, but we're also going to look at Broadway, the west side of downtown, the east side of downtown, Main Street, which is across the river as well, what we call the Starlite area because the Starlite drive-in movie theater used to be there, Lime Kiln Road, Allouez, and even Pere. Lots of places to look at for getting away from the big crowd of the stadium district. If you're around Lambeau Field, you are on the west side of Green Bay. And for this purpose, we'll split up the west side of the stadium from the east side of the stadium. The Resch Center and the arena are to the east of the stadium. So let's start on the west side around the Kroll's restaurant and the Titletown district that they've created.
The most relevant thing for you going to the draft, though, is that all of the entrances to the draft area are on the west side, either from Titletown or from Kroll's West. There are a number of great places to go there. I think they're going to be a disaster during the draft, but Hinterland Brewery is a lot of fun. They've got a great selection of locally made beers. Lodge Kohler, overtaken by the NFL, but they've got a great rooftop area, and Kroll's West is an absolute Green Bay classic that maybe not on draft night, but later in the weekend you're going to be able to go to.
There is the 1919 Lambeau Field atrium. Not sure how great that's going to be to get inside, but as you walk further east of the stadium, again towards the Resch Center and the Don Hudson Center and Nitschke Field, there are a lot of bars that you are just not going to be able to miss as you're walking around.
And that is really where we focus our time for Packers pregame. We are, of course, East Side guys, so of course we're going to be focused on the East Side, but that is the area that I would call the stadium district because that's where you've got the three biggest bars. The Stadium View is the biggest classic bar that hopefully everyone will be able to go to, and Doozy's and the bar, but there are a number of other locations that are on that East Side, including Badger State Brewing. They've got 30 beers on tap, D2, Burkle's, Green Bay Distillery.
The pictures on this slide show a typical game day crowd, but we're thinking because there's going to be a lot more people that the crowds are going to be much bigger than this.
Yeah, Stadium View specifically has a specific admission procedure. You should certainly go and register to go to the Stadium View, but the Stadium View is the center of the stadium district. It was started in 1992. They've got a gorgeous second floor viewing area where you can actually see Lambeau Field. They've got two different outdoor stages. The other bars, though, in the stadium district, specifically Anduzzi's and the bar, also have tents. All of them, it's a fun time. It's going to be a great place to hang out.
You mentioned that balcony, Neil. There is a capacity to it as well. So don't expect to be able to just walk up there and look around. You may have to wait in line to get upstairs. They are very strict on the capacity of that upper level.
But hopefully you'll make it there one of the days of the draft. And again, there's 3 days of the draft. You've got plenty of time to go up there. The view of Lambeau Field from the sky deck at the Stadium View is spectacular. Overall, the Stadium View is a lot about people just having fun. It's a great crowd. It's a very mixed crowd. The Stadium View is huge indoor and outdoor areas. So even if it's raining, you're going to have space inside all of these places.
And if you like beer, Badger State has a lot of beer on tap. They also make beer along with the Green Bay Distillery. There are places that you're going to find locally crafted beers. Distillery, Neil, is a place that's near and dear to your heart.
Green Bay Distillery is the home of the Green Bay Arsenal supporters, the Green Bay Armory, but perhaps more relevantly, it is the bar that's got the best view of Lambeau Field. You can see from the outdoor area in the center, they've got a both indoor space and outdoor space. And this is something that's globally true of all of these bars in the stadium district. They've got indoor spaces and outdoor spaces. You're going to be able to have fun no matter what. But specifically from the distillery, you've got the best view possible of Lambeau Field.
In the foreground of that picture as well, in that parking lot, it's going to be a big tailgate party on Friday as well from 1 to 5 p.m. So watch for that one.
The other thing about these places is that many of them have parking, and Badger State Brewery is a little bit further removed from the stadium. It is our standard tailgate spot on game day. You've got drinking areas outdoors and indoors. It is a very great environment for having beer and having fun with different people.
The stadium district is a great place to hang out and drink beer, but there's a lot of other places in Green Bay that are just as good.
We're going to break these down for you by regions. And what you're going to notice is these regions tend to go on streets. First, there's Broadway. There's a great story about why Broadway has always been called the mile-long bar rail. That's for a different podcast. But what you can see here is a nice long line of bars heading north on Broadway.
And bars that have entirely different characters. But these bars are also close to one of the paper mills in Green Bay. And so they've got a long history as being places that people go after the first shift, after the second shift, after the third shift. They go right into the Wisconsin drinking culture of a bar being a place where you just hang out with your friends, a different version of Cheers. And the Broadway district's got a ton of fun bars that you can go visit.
Looking for a beer or a Bloody Mary at 6 a.m.? These places can serve you.
Yeah, Neil, you mentioned third shift. That means these bars open at 6 a.m.
Not all of them do, to be fair, but yes, there is a very much a culture of people being able to leave work and start with a beer for their next day. And one of the things about the bars on Broadway is they're not pretentious. There is very much a bar of the people, you think that people would call dive bars, things that we would certainly call dive bars, but there's different characters at each of them, but very simple construction, and they are places to go and drink and talk with other people, places to go and socialize.
Along with socializing, you've got beer and you've got Bloody Marys, but you might notice from this picture that maybe some of the glasses are not the pint glasses we're used to seeing.
Bloody Marys are a classic in Wisconsin, certainly. Every bar makes a different Bloody Mary. You're going to have different characters. One of the ways that you could go through the weekend is just trying the Bloody Marys at different bars. But one of the things that comes with your Bloody Mary is it comes with a chaser. But globally in Wisconsin, people like their small beers, and you can get these very small glasses that you'll say, I can get a beer for $1. I can get a beer for $2. It is made for socializing.
And this is just part of Broadway. Broadway is a very long street on Green Bay's west side. We started you from the south end of it, looking at some of the bars. Like I said, these are around the paper mill. They're going to be open at 6 a.m. They're going to serve breakfast in some of these places as well. As you traipse a little bit farther north, it becomes more of a nightlife on Broadway.
And you've got different feel at the northern Broadway bars as well. There are two different breweries, Titletown Brewery and Copper State Brewery, as well as a number of places that are very focused, especially down by the Sardine Can. John can tell you about the Sardine Can and the history of this, but it's a bar that is just a really fun, generally a younger crowd, Lone Star being something that's more country oriented, but these are bars that certainly have a lot of character the later that the night gets. I would encourage you to go onto the Sardine Can's Facebook page and just see all of the things that they're promoting.
That story goes back to 1991. We don't have time for that one right now. Just realize this is an iconic location in Green Bay.
So if you're looking for a little bit perhaps quieter place, go to Lenny's Tap. Old school. Very, very old school. Long bar, great staff, great beer.
And people that just want to talk. I mean, I think that the central component of a Wisconsin bar, a Wisconsin tavern, is people that just want to sit, drink beer, and chat with other people. And you've got that at Lenny's. You've got a great clientele. You've got a great atmosphere, whether you're with your friends or you just want to meet a stranger and talk to a stranger. Lenny's Tap is a classic Green Bay bar, a classic Green Bay dive bar, a great place to go.
One of the things that's relatively new to Green Bay is what's called the Shipyard District. You may hear that term thrown around this weekend. And the Shipyard District is effectively this area of Broadway. It's between what we've shown you on the south end and the north end. And there's effectively the same bars, Rum Runners that you saw in there, Richard Craniums. That's the Shipyard District that you may hear about as well.
The other thing about Titletown Brewing is that it's got a 5th floor sky deck, and the rooftop terrace at Titletown Brewing is a completely different thing. It's different than most things that you have in Green Bay. Whether you go in daytime or nighttime, you've got a great overview of the entire Green Bay metropolitan area and downtown.
We should throw in there, Neil, Green Bay is a city, but you're not going to get a city skyline like you would in Minneapolis or Chicago. So please don't go looking for it. Just enjoy the views and the fact that Green Bay is Green Bay. And speaking of the Bay, it's a very big body of water to the north side of the city. It has the Fox River flowing into it, and the Fox River is what separates Green Bay's east side from west side. You're in the downtown west side. We're going to take you across the river. There are 3 downtown bridges that'll get you there relatively easily. But again, when you're downtown Green Bay, Washington Street is another north-south street that has plenty of bars on it.
And we've focused on a couple of our favorite bars. Specifically, Hagemeister Park is a great beer bar. It's got about 30 different craft beers that are on tap. It's also got views to the river, but near Kagemeister Park, between there and Ned Kelly's, there are about 4 or 5 bars that are a really fun place to hang out. We certainly remember from the 1996 Super Bowl victory, hanging out at basically every bar within that area.
With Hagermeister Park inside, you're going to find a lot of classic Packer memorabilia. There are also classic locations. You're going to see some Heritage Trail signs around this downtown area. You're also going to see the Hotel Northland. There is a rich history of the Green Bay Packers and Hotel Northland. And you never know, when you walk into Fox Harbor, you just might run into a former Packer like Larry McCarron.
Fox Harbor also is a bar that has both an inside area that's lovely, but also an outside area along the Fox River. And hopefully there will be some sunny days where you can just go and hang out by the waterfront and Fox Harbor, because it's a beautiful place to spend a sunny day.
Fox Harbor is directly across the shipyard district that we discussed earlier.
There's no bridge right there, make it easy to get across. But when you're at Fox Harbor, there's a great view of what's getting developed in that shipyard district as well. Getting away from Washington Street, you can push a little bit farther east, like I said, the Hotel Northland. But then we get into another little pocket on what is called Bodart Street. And there are some bars there that we've enjoyed as well, starting with Jill's Bar.
Jill's Bar is just, in my opinion, one of the absolute best bars in Green Bay. They've got a great local clientele. They've got a great owner who's a lot of fun, Jill. And the people who go there are, it's like the Green Bay version of Cheers. It's just a place where you go and chat and have fun and live life. And I would recommend Jill's Bar among all of these bars very highly.
And if you happen to catch karaoke when you're there, it is spectacular. Heading further east, you get to what is called Main Street. Main Street has a long history in Green Bay as well. It got cleaned up around that 1990, 1991 era. And a lot of the bars that are there now have been standing for quite a long time. You can go into a building like where Casuals is, a building that is over 100 years old structurally. Cock and Bull, over 100 years old structurally. In Casuals, the original pressed tin ceiling is still there.
You've got other bars that have very different characters as well. A&B's is a bar that is relatively new, but I've learned to really love. It's just got a character where they want you to have fun. You just want to drink and be.
You're looking for something a little more upscale and not beer. The Main Street Bourbon Room has a huge selection of bourbons at all different price points.
The thing to be aware of is some of these bars as well, like A&B's, are cash only. So be prepared for that. When you get away from the stadium, there's a lot of cashless inside the Lambeau Field or the Draft Complex. When you get to some of the bars in town, they will be cash only. They usually have an ATM there with them as well, but be prepared to have cash on hand.
The other thing is that there are 2 superb gay bars in the Main Street area. The Napalese is actually the oldest gay bar in Wisconsin. The Roundabout is owned by one of our grade school, junior high school classmates. It's a really fun place. John and I had a fabulous time, despite not being gay. It was a lovely place to spend.
Not that there's
time.
Anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. We had a fun time just sort of chatting and talking with people. Great atmosphere, great people at the Roundabout.
Point being, very welcoming. Don't be afraid to go in because they're going to have great music and great drink specials no matter where you go.
The other thing that's nearby is that there's a lot of history of the Green Bay Packers that goes back to this part of Green Bay. And specifically, you go across the Baird Street Bridge and you're at Green Bay East High School and City Stadium. Green Bay East High School being where Curly Lambeau went to high school, founded the Packers with a number of people from there. And City Stadium is the home of the Green Bay Packers from 1925 to 1956. They've recently put forth a homage to the old City Stadium. But one of the cool things about that is, even though there were 6 NFL championships that the Packers won on the field at City Stadium, that's also where John and I played high school football. Super, super neat place to play football.
And we didn't even need a special invitation. We should mention, Jeff, Green Bay East was the happiest 5 years of your life as well, correct?
I see what you did there, John.
Yes.
I see what you did there. Moving further east affords another group of bars with a little bit different feel, and we're going to include a restaurant here, Cranky Pat's Pizza.
Yeah, these are all classic Green Bay dive bars. They've all got individual characters that are great. Party Line has become one of my favorite bars in Green Bay. Sherry's Place, if you've got the chance to do karaoke there, but each of them has their own character, but it goes fully to the Green Bay and Wisconsin spirit of why you go to bars. You go to bars to socialize, you go to have fun, cheap drinks, fun people.
It's called the Starlite District because the Starlite Drive-In movie theater used to be located right there in the Bellevue area. The other thing about Cranky Pat's that's interesting, long, rich history to that. It used to be called Franken Pat's. So if you hear Franken Pat's, Cranky Pat's used synonymously, that's why. There's also Frank's Pizza Palace in Appleton and Cranky Pat's in Neenah, all part of the same family. And if you really want a long history, a guy named Bill in 1970 stole that recipe and took it to Stevens Point, where Bill's Pizza still flourishes in downtown Stevens Point.
At any rate, great pizza and a great place to hang out. We like all the bars in that area, but one other bar we want to recommend specifically in that area is the Job Site. The Job Site is run by one of our high school classmates, Stephanie. It's just a very fun, welcoming atmosphere. And again, just like basically everywhere in Green Bay, cheap drinks, drink a lot. You've got many opportunities to just make new friends.
And you'll get introduced to a phrase called double bubble. You've probably heard it before, but it's basically your happy hour, 2-for-1 drinks. If you don't want the 2 drinks right away, sometimes you get a drink chip, save it for later, give it to a buddy. But nonetheless, drinking in Green Bay is very reasonably priced compared to wherever it is you are going to be coming from this weekend.
John, it's always 2-for-1 compared to Minneapolis when I go home to Green Bay.
Yeah.
But just sort of pointing out in the photo here, VPR, a bar that's right adjacent to Cranky Pat's, those 2 beers that John and I are drinking, those were $1 each when we were there last time.
Fun, small tappers of beer for $1. You can't beat it.
And then going further out from the Starlite District, just a short distance down Mason Street, there's another cluster of bars in the Lime Kiln area. And one of the bars that's there is the Bars. This is one of the huge bars that's in the Stadium District, but the bar that is on Lime Kiln is very different in character from the bar that is in the Stadium District. It is a locals bar, and the locals component is one of the things that makes all of these bars fun. It's going to make all of these bars an interesting place for you to visit.
And it should be noted, the bar on Lime Kiln is the original, the bar, right? And then they opened the one by the stadium. They opened one on Velp. There's one in Appleton. There are plenty of the bar locations, but that one on Lime Kiln, if you're interested in history, that is the original.
And of course, you've got bartenders throughout the city that are experienced bartenders that know how to encourage people to have fun. And this is a series of photos from us when we were at BC's, one of the dive bars that's in the Lime Kiln area. And I guess we were encouraged to drink shots. This is not something that those of us that are in this photo normally do, but when you're in Green Bay, you're in Green Bay.
And we didn't mention it at the other bar, Neil. You're going to hear the term bar dice a lot as well, or shake for shots. This is very common in Green Bay and all throughout Wisconsin, is to, in the picture in A and B's here, JP, our friend, learned how to shake bar dice that night and unfortunately ended up losing and had to buy the round of shots. That's just the way the game goes. But it is every bartender, wherever you go, if they have bar dice, they will teach you how to shake. And yes, if the bartender loses, they will buy the shot as well, no matter how big your group is.
Moving slightly south, we're getting into now the Allouez area and our old stomping grounds where we grew up.
Taking a look at a couple of locations here, we'll point out first the Lorelei Inn. Our friend Dave, who we went to high school with, he owns the bar. He's in the picture here in the Packer hat. He owns it with his sister. They took over. Their parents owned it for the longest time. It is a great old bar. Was a German restaurant. Now it's kind of a more European, but it's a supper club. If you want a supper club feel, the Lorelei is a good spot to hit. And
both great mixed drinks. They've got a great beer menu. If you happen to be there in September, they've got a fabulous Oktoberfest, just a really fun place to go. And I guess you will notice now that we've got 3 different high school classmates that we've mentioned as bar owners throughout Green Bay. The Lorelei here, whether it is the Roundabout or whether it is the Job Site, yes, this is part of Green Bay's culture, and we're really proud of it.
Another shout out to Dave here. He pours an excellent Guinness. And also, as the night goes on, you can enjoy him spinning vinyl at the bar.
Essentially, across from the Lorelei is one of the 8 breweries that's in Green Bay, Zambaldi Beer. And Zambaldi, like most breweries nowadays, has both an indoor and outdoor space. Zambaldi also makes a special Oktoberfest beer for the Lorelei Inn's Oktoberfest Festival.
The interesting thing about different bars within the Green Bay area, and as Neil mentioned, some of our classmates are bar owners, but different parts of town have different bars that kind of congregate people who went to certain schools. St. Michael's Pub happens to be one where if you walk in there on any given night, you're going to see a large volume of people who went to Green Bay East High School.
And the other thing about St. Michael's Pub, it's definitely one that's got a locals character, but open to other people. If you happen to go when the bar owner is there and serving bar, he will not accept tips. You can go and basically drink $2 beers all night, and you throw a tip out for him, and he will say, no, I will not accept this. So a different feel than what you're used to when you go to bars in most places.
Moving further south still brings you to beautiful De Pere, Wisconsin. Just because it's a little smaller than Green Bay, it still has its share of bars and character bars.
The beauty of De Pere, first of all, it's on the Fox River, and they take advantage of the Fox River. Going to the parks along the Fox River are a lovely place to spend during the day, but they've got great bars on both sides of the river, McGeorge's and Levee on the east side. On the west side, the Abbey is a bar that's centrally associated with St. Norbert College. It has a lot of that feel of a college bar. Our favorite bar on the west side, however, is Nicky's.
And Nicky's, because of the St. Norbert campus there, St. Norbert attracts a lot of Illinois kids, Chicagoland kids to come up there. And they brought with them the Chicago tradition of the Malort shot.
Oh.
Yes.
Let's just leave it at that. But if you go to Nicky's, first of all, there's a ton of Packers memorabilia on the wall. It's a place a lot of Packers players and coaches have congregated for many years in the past. You can go to see that. They've got great food, but also ask the bartender about having a shot of Malort. Thank us later or blame us later, however you're going to do it.
Now, Neil mentioned there are breweries within Green Bay, microbreweries, if you want to call them that. They are littered throughout the city. They are not hard to find either.
Like as in most places in the year 2025, they've got a whole variety of different beers. It changes throughout the season. I particularly like Stillmank and Noble Roots as breweries. Going north of the city, Anape is a great brewery. Around the Stadium District, Hinterland, Badger State has said they make their own. They sell beers from breweries throughout the area. And the Cocoon is a great space for just sort of hang out. They've got these beautiful outdoor spaces sort of in the countryside of De Pere. But any one of these breweries is a fun place to go if you like craft beer.
Many of the breweries we've talked about, and bars for that matter, have both indoor and outdoor spaces. But if you want to sort of get above it all a little bit, there are 3 places that have rooftop views.
Titletown, we talked about previously, views of downtown in the Stadium District, Tavern in the Sky on the roof of Lodge Kohler, just a beautiful space. You get this great view of Lambeau. Cardinals Crest is a newer space in the Legacy Hotel, but also has great views of the Stadium District.
And finally, you need to soak up a lot of the alcohol, right? There are many, many restaurants around the Green Bay area. Yes, there are your chain restaurants. Yes, you're going to get your fast food and things that you can get elsewhere. We want you to know about things that are inherent to Green Bay, what you can only get in town. You, as a Packer fan, have most likely heard of Kroll's. Kroll's West is right next to the stadium. There is a Kroll's East. There is a long story about that history as well for another podcast, but people will get into arguments as to which one has the better food between Kroll's West and Kroll's East.
The other thing that is unique to Wisconsin is the fish fry. And there are a number of places that have great fish fries throughout Green Bay. We obviously can't list everything just with the bars. We can't go through every possibility. We would love your additional suggestions for all of the other places to go. But 2 places for fish fry we want to recommend: Merrick's and Highland Howie. Merrick's has an incredible fish fry on Wednesday and Friday.
Speaking of things that are very Green Bay centric, Wisconsin centric, if you're looking for chicken noodle soup, you're not going to find it in Wisconsin. You're going to find booyah.
Booyah!
Booyah! Lots of places around the city will have it. There's many different recipes for it, but typically chicken booyah, it's going to be a clearish broth. It sort of looks like chicken noodle soup, but much, much better.
And this very much plays to the Belgian heritage that you have in Green Bay, which Jeff also has.
Booyah is a staple to church picnics all throughout the summer as well. Many, many recipes of booyah. It's worth trying once you're in town. Something else that is unique to the Green Bay area is the Kringle and Uncle Mike's pastry shop. You may hear Uncle Mike's Kringle. Do you want to try a Kringle? And you might say, I don't know what that is. Just say yes. Don't worry about it. Just say yes. You know, if someone says, hey, you want to go get a good fish fry? Just say yes and go and check it out. It'll be worth the trip wherever you end up in Green Bay.
Hamburgers, brats, and chili. Oh my.
The Green Bay or Wisconsin burger, the specialty is the butter burger. And we've got the photo from Kroll's West of their butter burger, specifically their pizza burger. But the butter does something different as far as the food is concerned. The chili is the one that I think is most unique. And there's just a style with how all of the meat is boiled down. John can tell you the recipe if you give him enough money. But the Green Bay style chili is distinct from chili everywhere as far as how all of those flavors come together. Kroll's West is one of those places where you can get it. The Drift Inn is another one of those places. There are other places around Green Bay that have this special Green Bay style chili. Rest in peace, John Madden. Sorry, Chili John's is no longer here, but the Green Bay style chili is something that is distinct.
And if you're looking at that picture and saying, are there spaghetti noodles in that chili? The answer is yes. There are spaghetti noodles. If you get chili somewhere and they say, do you want noodles? The answer is yes. And if you are from the Cincinnati area and you're used to the Cincinnati style of chili with noodles, and you say, oh yeah, chili and noodles, those go together. I guarantee this is a different type of chili than what you get in Cincinnati. And in my opinion, far superior.
And again, there are lots of other great opportunities that you have for drink and for food in Green Bay. I would encourage you to explore however you want. We've given you some of our favorite places, other places that we like. Just go somewhere in Green Bay and just try something different. You're going to have a good time.
Wherever you go, keep an open mind. Realize that they're open for business because the locals love them. They've been around a while. If you post on social media, tag us, Green Bay Chat or the GBC podcast. Let us know that you tried something in Green Bay. Let us know how you liked it. Hopefully this was a good guide to get you around town, and you'll hear us throughout different podcasts talking, more specifically about different places, different histories. But we hope you have a great time in Green Bay, and please enjoy all the local flavors.
Love Green Bay. It's a great place always to be.